In terms of Hijrah, I had read it in the books, okay, but it was nothing that I thought is applicable to now. In terms of, I didn't think of it. It didn't cross my mind, put it this way. When it crossed my mind is when I had someone like Sheikh Samir begin to bring it up, particularly, quite explicitly, and sometimes he would be indicating certain things. And that is when I would, this is something like, for example, with Sheikh Samir as a scholar, that I noticed a lot from him. He would trigger things off that I remembered that I read. Or he would say something, and then a few years later down the line, I would read what he had already mentioned before. I'd remember he mentioned this, and now I've read it. So you then begin to appreciate the level of scholarship that you're sitting in front of. Yeah, and this issue of Hijrah, meaning migration, again, it wasn't in my mind, but then I began to slowly become a little bit more conscious of it, with how things were changing in society and with how I was feeling, but I just didn't know the step, how to do it. And most of us, this is the normal thing that, to be honest, everyone will say, where am I supposed to go? And how am I supposed to go? You expect me to leave everything and just get up and go? These are questions that come across your mind all the time. Especially when you have parents, it's a bit more difficult. You need permission, etc. For me, it was, like I said, I did not feel comfortable anymore, Sayyidi. I did not feel, it's not that, again, my mum was there, my brother is there, my family is there, but there's something just wasn't sitting right in my heart anymore. Going to work, I wasn't really happy with it, and I just felt, for me, it was more, I felt that things are being stripped from us bit by bit, and you're kind of being forced to do certain things that you don't want. I don't want to be in a position to be forced to do anything. There's a freedom, of course, there's a freedom, but I don't want to be forced to adopt a certain way to satisfy others, which in reality is, I believe, was against my religion. I cannot do that. And it was just happening way too frequently.
So was that, sorry, so was that the instigator then, in regards to specific agendas and specific ways of paying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't thinking more of like conspiracy theories and things like that. It wasn't that. It was just, I just felt that I felt that there was like a big tide coming, and it was really pushing. And then that is when things that I already read about and studied and understood, and when I was consulting other teachers and scholars, they started to add up, and they started to confirm one another. And that's when I started saying, right, no, I need to make a decision now, and I need to think about what I'm going to do next. And it was a big step because, remember, I'm a pharmacist. I don't have any other experience in anything else at that moment in time. So I was looking for work abroad in Muslim countries, as a pharmacist, as a lecturer in pharmacy. Nothing was coming up. And then something popped up about teaching, and I thought, I'm going to change my career. It's a big change to go, and also from a salary of a pharmacist to go to a salary of a teacher is a big hit. And then I just took that decision. There was something that I remember Sheikh Samir telling me, and it stuck with me, is that have confidence in God. Like, don't think materialistic. This is what I understood. Don't think materialistically. It's important, but these things are not materialistic. These are metaphysical judgments you're making, and the assistance will be metaphysical. So he just said, have confidence in Allah, have confidence in taking that step. So, yeah, and then the opportunities basically arose in Saudi Arabia. So I left. And I started first I was living in Riyadh for about two, 3 years. Then, alhamdulillah, then I moved to Jeddah. And now I live in Jeddah. It's been about, now in my third year in Jeddah. So it's been about a total of just going into 5 years being in Saudi Arabia now.